Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Down in the Country podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Reed, and today we are joined by another up and coming country music artist, Rachel Lipsky. Thank you so much for your time today, Rachel.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No, we're happy you're here. And just to start off with, so on your website you discuss unapologetic empowerment, and what does that mean to you in shaping your identity as a country music artist?
I think today it's more important than ever to be authentically yourself and unapologetically. A lot of times when you're taking meetings in town with industry people, they want you to water yourself down and so that they can package you a certain way to feed you to the audience, which I do completely understand from a certain perspective and an older way of thinking about that. Um, but I think today more than ever, now that people have access to the internet, artists can reach the audience without going through the gatekeepers. The audience is finding more music and more artists that they just fall in love with and connect with. And that's a big deal. You can't be fake and think you can connect with the audience. You just can't. So I just think it's great to be off, unapologetically yourself at all times, and that hopefully shines through on our music.
Great. And, just to go off of what you just said, just in conversations that you and I have had, you perform overseas a lot. So would you say that performing overseas and your passion for the troops is applicable to that unapologetic empowerment that you market yourself on your website?
Yes, that has been something I've always wanted to do. I felt like that was one of my callings, one of my purposes in life was giving back to our men and women. I've had this special connection with them ever since I can remember. And my grandparents were in the military. My dad was in the FBI. He trained with Marines in Quantico, Virginia. Um, just giving back to them, our men and women and their families, they sacrifice a lot more than what they will tell you, or a lot more than what anyone will tell the mass public. And I can't believe I've been on 7 tours with Armed Forces Entertainment already. And we've been all over the world: Afghanistan, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Spain, Portugal, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Bulgaria, Slovakia, and Kosovo. And some of those countries many times.
Wow. And what have your experiences been like overseas performing for troops?
It's amazing. It's a big love fest, is pretty much what I tell people. And that's the truth. We go and they are so appreciative, and we're so appreciative. And we get to hang out all day, starting from early in the morning. We go and do unit visits. So we get to see what they do, how they live, what are their routines? How do you get through a 9, a 12, a 15-month deployment away from your family? Some of the deployments, they can have their families, and in those situations, they'll have longer deployments typically. But it's fun to go see everything that they're doing and their daily life. We get to have meals with them. And it's my favorite to be on base. Sometimes we stay off base, but it's just so great. And then we have a performance at night, and we'll do meet and greet and hang out after as well.
So you have like a very strong, not only like passion for performing, but kind of what you're saying, you have a strong emotional attachment to as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. And then going, changing gears a little bit to your music in particular. So two singles I really want to highlight are Wonky Tonk and then I Don't Give Up. So the first single that I want to highlight is Wonky Tonk. And could you just provide like the intro, like an introduction of the song and kind of what it means to you as an artist?
Yeah, we are teleporting you back to 90s country, baby. And I had this idea, and sometimes you save ideas for certain people because you just have a feeling that this co-writer is going to be the right one for it. And I was saving this title, and Timothy Baker, my co-writer, came over and we were writing, and I was like, hey, I have an idea. And I told him, and he lit up, and I could tell his wheels were turning. And he just started with this killer. It's the most Brooks and Dunn song I've ever co-written.
Wow.
And literally just spewed out. We were just like, it just came out right away. I think it took us maybe an hour to write this, which, by the way, is incredibly rare. Um, and we knew it was like this such a fun song, and it's pretty much just the exact story of my life. Like, I am not the party girl, but sometimes, you like you want to go out and just burn it down, and
Yeah. I love the honesty.
yes.
Now, do you mind if we play a little clip?
Not at all. Let's do it.
Let's ride.
Most of the time I walk in a straight line. Ain't always the one with good time for the fight. Every now and then I let out my inner rhythm. Every five whole hands in the devil. Now long overdue. So tonight, Wonky Tonk. On the track, on the planet, baby, are you ready? I'm calling all the shots. Yeah, I'm in the hell of the dawn.
So I do love kind of, you build up to that bridge. And then I love how kind of like that drum portion is like, okay, now we're transferring over to the bridge. And then that's kind of when the rock aspect starts to come out a lot more.
Oh, yes. Yes. So much fun.
And what was kind of like that journey like for that particular song? Kind of the writing process, the mixing, the mastering, the layering. Like, what was that entire process like?
Yeah, the writing that just kind of came out within an hour. Can't believe that happened so quickly. We wrote that July of 2019. I am behind on recording a lot of my songs because it's so expensive, but I knew, I was like, we need to record this one in this next batch. And I gave it to my producer, Jeff Copeland. And he's just, I give him a lot of creative control because I don't want to, he has such great instincts. I don't want to constrain him in any way. So it's like, okay, here's the songs we're gonna record, and he calls his people. So he works with Nick Buda, who is on who's playing drums right now for Kenny Chesney the past couple of years. He played on all the early Taylor Swift albums. So this guy is amazing. He's a monster. Um, just killing it. Justin Shipper. Uh, he's pedal steel player. Just played on Beyonce's albums. I mean, so many. But Jeff calls his people and he gets the sessions together and they work their magic. And then I come in later and do my vocals. And he's magic. Jeff is magic.
Oh wow! So like for Wonky Tonk, so you recorded kind of the instrumental portion, and then your vocals were layered on top of it.
Yeah, so it was a guitar vocal.
Okay.
That's how it started. And that's a typical work tape in Nashville. When you get done with the writing session, you record it on voice memo, And here's the guitar vocal, and Jeff takes that and just, amplifies it.
Wow. So we have Jeff to thank.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, what I do love about the song, well, it's actually two things. So I really love the slideshow portion of it. So whoever took those photographs did a great job. Kind of gives like the story of the song, like, kind of having your inner rebel out a little bit, having fun, not being afraid to let loose. Um, and then the second thing too, as well, that I don't want to forget is I love, it takes serious talent, and I haven't heard a lot of artists do it where you can go low and then you can go up fairly quickly within kind of that same measure. Like that takes some mad talent to do.
Thank you. Lots of practice, and make sure I practice 4 to 5 days a week, 90 minutes to 2 hours. Also, a lot of, especially as an up and comer, a lot of our gigs that we get are 3 to 4 hour performances, and just depends on who hired you. But sometimes you're not allowed to take a break. Sometimes you're only allowed 15 minutes. So you've got to have your vocals always strong, always strong.
Wow. So it's kind of like sing till you're dropped in this city.
Yeah.
Wow. And then the second song I really wanted to highlight is I Don't Give Up. And, similarly to Wonky Tonk, could you just provide an introduction to that song too as well and what it represents to you?
Absolutely. So this was the very first song that Jeff Copeland and I co-wrote. So my producer, and we were in the session, and hey, he's like, "What do you want to write?" And I wanted an anthemic, those moments when you are going through some hard times, or like think of a football player at the Super Bowl, and you are just, it's the third down, and you're fourth quarter, and you're trying to make that play, and what would inspire somebody to keep going, dig deeper, you've got this, and this is what came out. It's called I Don't Give a. Be careful which version you find online, because there is an explicit and a clean, but something for everybody.
Awesome. So I want to play the explicit because I think we're all mature adults here.
Yes.
Do you mind if I play a little clip of that too as well?
Not at all.
Let's ride.
I'm taking life straighter. I keep taking them shots. If the good Lord keep finding the love, I'm gonna drink every last drop. Oh, 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 oh. Some say that I'm too nice. Some say ain't tough. But I paid the price, make a sacrifice. Hell down when the road gets rough. I don't give a fuck, never giving up, never gonna let up, always gonna get up.
I love the the opening of that song, that kind of that strong drum port. It really sets the mood for the entire song. Is that kind of what you were envisioning?
Oh yeah, it's like, it's all in, it's powerful. It's just is what it is, and that's what we were going for.
And what was the writing and kind of the mixing, the mastering, and the layering process for that song?
Yeah, it was Jeff, he just, starts on this guitar riff, and it was like, damn, that's so great, and I just start thinking, okay, I just start writing. I just start typing on my computer, and I just start writing anything and everything that comes to mind. And even if it's kind of weird, because you want to be different, But you also want to tell a story. And so it's kind of like, what are some things that in my life that, some people say about me, some people say I am too nice, I'm going to need you to be a little more, if you're going to make it. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with that, and you could still be a nice person and not step on other people and get to where you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
and still, be a warrior, still stick in there.
Wow. So you're kind of with both Wonky Tonk and I Don't Give a, you're kind of giving the audience life lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, a peek into things that happen in my life. Yeah.
Wow. And what I do like about those songs is that you really, really well do. You combine country and then music with a bit of edginess to it as well. Like when I was listening to I Don't Give Up, I kind of heard a little bit, and I don't want to make any assumptions. Were you listening to like uh, Joan Jett and like Sublime and Kiss? And because it seems like you draw like you hear a lot of the same similar musical styles from those artists.
Oh yeah. I mean, I grew up on all that, and I would go through phases growing up where I would want to just consume like classical music, rock, rap,
Hmm.
and I would be obsessed with it and just want to blast it and listen to it for 6 months, And I love all kinds of music. I think every musician does. And it's a big influence on, I
Hmm.
love that rock side. I love being edgy. I love pushing boundaries. And, I've been told I'm too edgy, but
Hmm.
that's okay. That's what I want. That's who I am.
Well, what does that even mean?
Well, right. It's like, well, he was like, you're taking a really hard road. And it's like, okay, like, that's okay. The real game changers in life take the
Hmm.
hard road. They make their own road. They don't take, you know,
Hmm.
they don't
Yeah.
follow, they lead. So,
Hmm. Yeah. No, and it's you bring up a great point, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, but like, what do both of these songs like? How do they represent you, not only as an artist but also as a human being?
yeah, there's times where you just want to get rowdy. There's times where you're just, as a musician, it is, and an entertainer, it's our job to create an escape
Hmm.
for people, for our audience, and we all are really busy. We all work really hard, and how can we, for 90 minutes, 2 hours, just make everyone, including ourselves, forget about all the crazy stuff going on in our lives? And that's the escape, you know, that's what we try to do as entertainers. That's our job.
Hmm.
And I love, it's fun to sing about my real life, and hopefully people connect with that. But I also, sometimes the song is about an alter ego, or it's not always about what's happening in my life, but it feels right to spread that message. And um, people do connect with that too.
Awesome. And do you notice when you play at shows, uh, like, are you able to gauge kind of how the audience is feeling depending upon the song you're playing?
Oh yeah, and it's really fun to play new unreleased songs, um, because watching people's reaction is so important. But gosh, I was so nervous. This was a huge risk, putting I Don't Give a out. I it was almost like, I don't know if we should even cut this and put it out there. And because I don't give a, you
Mhm.
know, I wasn't sure how people would take it. And
Mhm.
I kid you not, the first few times I started playing it out last summer before, because we released it at the beginning of this year. And oh my gosh, people were reacting like you wouldn't believe. They were coming, running up to me after we were done. They were asking, where can I find this song? Um, you know, fist pumping in the background. Just people felt so connected to it. And then when I released it,
Mhm.
I had so many people, including friends I had not talked to in a really long time, co-writers, hit writers, messaging me, texting me, being like, wow, this is the best song you've ever released. This is such an incredible song. Holy cow. I did not expect that. So I'm glad people resonated with it.
Mhm. Now, you know, I don't give a, so you've written other stuff, but do people now kind of see you as that person who wrote I don't give a, because it seems like there's every artist, they have that one song that everyone ties them to.
Yeah, I don't know if, maybe. I don't know how people, like, what people think of when they think of me.
Mm.
Um, uh, hopefully, hopefully it inspires them to be their best selves and take risks as well. That's what
Mm.
I want.
Awesome. And then, changing gears now to, your hometown. So you're from Denver, Colorado, which I
Yes.
would have not thought would be a country music town.
Mhm.
Um, but how have you applied your hometown of Denver, Colorado to your music?
I mean, I that's one of my favorite escapes is going out there and just being in the woods, being in the mountains, and thinking and dreaming.
Hmm.
And I do write songs about it as well. And it's a magical place, with really wonderful people.
Hmm. So are you like a skier too as well?
I am, yes, I ski.
Wow. And I did not know about Denver is like you have to get used to the altitude too as well.
Yes. So I don't know if it's because I was born there, but I really don't have any issues. I do get out of breath, quicker, but I don't really think I've ever gotten altitude sickness. But um, I got married out there, and there were some guests that had some terrible issues. So I feel so bad for them, but it can definitely bring you down if you're not ready for it. Don't drink enough water, all the things.
Now, and the reason why I ask that is like when you're performing in a higher altitude area, like do you notice a difference in like the sounds and playing and
Oh yeah, I mean it's because I don't just stand there and sing. I actually move around and perform. So it definitely, you can feel it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there's Red Rocks Amphitheater is there too as well.
Yes, which I have not been able to play there yet, but that is my mecca. And I would think that most musicians, Madison Square Gardens would be their like highest pinnacle. For
Mhm.
me, it's Red Rocks. I would love to perform there many, many times in the near future.
And wow, no, that's and it's I was my understanding of Red Rocks is it's like it's a natural music venue basically.
Yes, yeah, and the acoustics there are just spectacular. It's just stunningly beautiful and a really special place.
That's awesome. No, and I think it's important to also to highlight where you're from in your music because it's a part of who you are that no one can ever take away from you.
Absolutely. I agree.
And you know to um to further conversation. So you have a handful of accolades to your name, such as winning IMEA's Country Female Vocalist Award. You were a finalist in the Unsigned Only International Songwriting Competition for Ready Set Whiskey.
Yeah.
And how do you remain true to yourself as a person with these successes?
I think winning awards is great. It's awesome. And it's validating. But there's always work to be done, and growing up watching a lot of these epic performers, entertainers. I mean, gosh, take Dolly Parton. Like, she just does not stop. And she's always writing. I remember Toby Keith, he would win all these awards and get, to do all these things, but he was still, he would win an award and then he would be writing the next day, always working, working, working. And you just always need to keep working, to stay in it.
Mm-hmm.
And and those of us that truly love it, it's not work, we just want to do it. We want to keep writing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no, it's great you brought up Toby Keith because he was still going hot, going very strong right up until he passed away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come to town, come to Nashville, and they're like, oh, in 6 months or in 1 year, I'm going to be the next Carrie Underwood. And it's like, I love your ambition and that's great, but most of the time you're not. Like, this is an average 10-year town. I would say 99% of the time you're not, and a lot of people quit and they move. I think 3 years is, when I was here 3 years, so many people quit and just moved away and you just never heard from them again. It was weird, and that happens. It's hard,
Wow. So is Nashville like a very highly transient town?
Yeah, I would absolutely say so. Yeah.
Wow. And specifically about music, because you were bringing up, musical journeys, like where do you see your musical career 1 to 2 years from now in terms of like you have like a new EP or like a new album, or do you have like a dream collaboration you really like would want to accomplish?
Oh man. So Jeff and I have been working really hard this year. We've been writing a ton, and working on the next recording session that we'll be doing. I do have another single ready to go that we will be releasing. I don't have an exact date yet, but maybe mid to late September. So keep an eye out for that. And we will be releasing more music next year. Gosh, I would love in the next year or two to make my Grand Ole Opry debut. I have luckily been able to play at the Bluebird Cafe many times, and once a year, for the past few years, I've been able to put together my own rounds, which is really special. I just want to be an opener for bigger artists, and touring and traveling on the road doing music is one of my absolute favorite things to do. So I would love to be on the road 275 to 85 dates a year, and just be out there doing that. So hopefully, and build myself up to, you know, amphitheaters and then stadium shows, I would love that. That would be awesome.
So I guess you're saying like, see you soon at the Titan Stadium.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that would be amazing. That's the dream. That's the goal. That's what I'm working towards and have been manifesting. And that's where I see myself.
Wow. And this last question that I have, and it's also my favorite question to ask up and coming country music artists. So, what is the genre and then also the community of country music mean to you? And how do you want to contribute to that genre and community?
The country community is really special, a lot different than other genres because there's a mentorship that happens in the country community that doesn't really happen in a lot of other genres. And that's really important. And I hope we're not losing that because everyone needs mentors and guidance. Nobody's born a star day one.
Mhm.
And, you know, I would love to inspire and help other people be successful and be able to make a living at music together.
Mhm.
That would be really special because when you are called to do music and then actually get to do it for a living, it's hard to get to that point. But I would love to help others and help
Awesome.
my friends and have number ones together and all that stuff. Oh, dream collaboration. I forgot to answer that question. Mary Chapin Carpenter is one of my all time favorite. I would love um, to write and sing with her, uh,
Mhm.
even open for her, but also Garth Brooks or Gary Allan. Those are my favorite male.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Yes.
Kind of bringing that 90s country music as what we were just discussing at the beginning of this conversation.
Full circle.
And Rachel, where can people find out more about you and your music?
RachelLipsky.com, Lipsky. It rhymes with whiskey. And we're on YouTube. Uh, we, as in me and my multiple personalities, uh, Instagram, Facebook, all the things. So I always keep my tour dates up to date on the website. I've got t-shirts and albums for sale in case you're interested in that. And I live in Nashville, so if you're in town, let me know.
Awesome. And be sure to subscribe to Down in the Country podcast on YouTube, as well
Yes.
as we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts too, as well. This is Dylan Reed signing off. Thank you again so much for your time, Rachel.
Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate it.